Destiny. Oh, this freaking game. You know, if you followed anything I've made in probably like the past year, you would definitely know that I was excited for Destiny.
It's true.
I was ready, and when I was initially going to make this review, like, I think it was like a week and a half ago, I was actually going to defend this game. But literally, the amount of crap that has come out and from stuff that I've freaking played in this game for like the past, like, probably like a couple days after that, holy crap, this game literally face dives. I mean, Bungie said that this game was going to be a different game after level 20. I didn't know it was going to mean you farm or you die. I mean, you might not know, Matt, might not know what exactly farming is, since I don't think you really play very many MMOs or anything with crafting. But freaking, it was, wow. You have to, basically what farming is you, in this game, you're going around looking for resources to upgrade your material. And the resources in this game are relic iron, uh, spin metal, relic iron, and oh yeah, helium filaments. But to freaking upgrade your stuff, you have to get a bunch of those. And upgrading freaking, I mean, relic iron. Apparently, there's a glitch you can take advantage of, and you can get like 100 relic iron in like 45 minutes or something. Because that's what two of my friends were doing. But for freaking spin metal, good luck. Spin metal is like impossible to find in this game. But before we get to that, let's let's get to the main attraction here in the freaking story.
There's a story.
Believe it or not, yes, there is a story. But the story in this game, holy crap. I mean, I know they're going for more of a lore-based story because this is the first like entry into a franchise, but holy crap. The worst offender is the speaker himself. The speaker, oh my god. He literally says this line. I could tell you about the golden age. I could tell you about the fall, our fall, and about the invasion of the darkness. But here, let's send you on a mission. He didn't say that last third part, but he actually said those first two lines. Those first two lines, I mean, everybody's like, yes, can you tell me about the fall? Can you tell me about how we got here? I mean, but honestly, why don't they tell us about how we got here? What caused the fall and the darkness? And I mean, give me something here to work with, game. Bungie, you pretty much created an entire universe with Halo. We know you can do it. Why don't you do it? But the freaking I liked what they were doing originally with Dinklebot, as he's come to be called now, with the Ghost. Originally, I think they're shooting for more of a. I think he was. We watched the E3 video. He was originally the Ghost was a ball of light. I mean, I think that works a lot better than he's a robot. How did the Traveler make a robot? Why would the Traveler make a robot? I mean, it doesn't make much sense. I think making him as like an essence of the Traveler is a little more mysterious, other than, oh, he's a robot that talks and every once in a while has a funny line. But I mean, it's just doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense about this story. I originally was going to freaking defend this story, but good lord, Bungie. You have
Yeah.
anything to add, sir?
Well, like, I haven't followed the Destiny that much since I pre-ordered the game the day before it came out. I heard that there was stuff from E3 that was meant to be in the story to further expand it that was ultimately cut last minute, and so it's the reason why the story seems a bit choppy, or well, really choppy now. For the most part, um, hmm. I also heard, yeah, that recently, people discovered that there was on discs stuff like the DLC. Um, it doesn't really seem like it was really Bungie's fault. Like I see, like I'm having a feeling that just the fact that they had Activision publish this game, it seemed like there was some, backdoor agreements that went on without anyone knowing, and ultimately they made a bunch of cuts to make the game suit Activision's need to sell DLC.
Oh, and that's the best part. You see, that bit of information I was holding from you. I heard this from Nathan. Apparently, in Bungie and Activision's contract for this game, if the game got reviews of 9 or higher, Bungie owed Activision over $2 million.
What? Are you?
Yes.
Are you joking?
That's literally what happened. I think if the game got high enough reviews in the 9 area, Bungie owed Activision money.
Wow.
I mean, what? That's the exact same thing I said when I first heard it.
So wait, are you telling me that whenever Call of Duty gets 9s from IGN and all these other game reviewing sites, that Infinity Ward or Treyarch pays Activision
I don't know about
10% of their revenue or anything?
I don't know about that, but that literally might be... That makes sense of why this game might be so bare bones. Is freaking Bungie intentionally cut crap out so they didn't owe Activision money.
Without knowing that, I would have felt that they just cut stuff out and just made stuff really Halo-like just to make this game more safe in terms of how they were going out into this world. Because, you'll be able to spot Halo comparisons in this game. There's some really obvious, like the one thing that looks like Master Chief if you were owned by Disney.
Well, apparently, since the head writer of this game also left Bungie, I think it was last year. And apparently, this story was going to have a way different look too. Apparently, the original way the story went was you were awoken by the ghost, and it ended up the Traveler was the cause of the darkness, and the Traveler originally was the one that was it brought the darkness with it, and the Fallen and all them to attack humanity. And you originally, as a Guardian, woke up and went, and you were taken by the Queen's brother, who is still in the game. The Queen of the Awoken's brother, with another band of Guardians, and you're going to be pretty much fighting a guerrilla war against the Traveler and the Fallen and the Vex and whatnot.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the enemies in this game. To be honest, the Fallen and the Hex, or is that what they're called? Hex?
Vex.
Yeah, or Vex. They just look really generic in their designs, because I can't tell which is which really that easily, even with the amount of time I've played this game. They're all completely forgettable. They almost look completely generic, and even people are comparing that, they're essentially just quote-unquote rip-offs of Halo enemies, even though you can obviously tell by their weapons that they're using tweaked Halo weapons, but for the most part, they're just completely forgettable. I'm not really that interested in what these enemies are like, and they just seem generic to me.
The Vex they even described the Vex, apparently. They're interweaved throughout a network and whatnot. That's actually exactly how the Geth are in Mass Effect. It literally, the Vex seem like a direct rip-off of them. But what I was saying before was that you're going to be joining a band of Guardians called the Crow, and you're fighting a guerrilla war against the enemies like the Vex and the Cabal and all them on the different planets, eventually trying to push them back, and you're going to defeat the Traveler. Even just hearing that story, that story is 10 times better than the story that was put in this game. You're actually have a goal in what you're doing instead of I'm fighting these enemies just for the sake of defeating them. You actually seem to have some of a purpose. But apparently that was scrapped after the writer left Bungie last year, and now we have this.
Yeah, speaking of this, the gameplay is repetitive as hell. What is this game's hard on with hordes? They're everywhere. All you do is drop off Ghost to go shoot his laser beam at something, and then you spend the rest of your time fighting off waves of enemies. And the worst part is when you have in a no respawn zone, and you may be fighting off hordes for maybe 10 minutes, and then you get set back sometimes to the very beginning of the no respawn zone. That pisses me off big time.
You are still earlier in the game. They actually
I'm stuck on one level.
They actually do. That's the beginning of the game. That literally is like every mission is defending your ghost. But towards like the halfway point, there are fewer of those, but they still exist. The strike missions in this game, I think, are one of the few decent high points. The Devil's Lair strike zone is pretty fun. It seems to be kind of the classic dungeon from like WoW or something. But one of the biggest other gripes in this game is how the freaking bosses don't do anything. Like in World of Warcraft or even Borderlands, they at least do something besides soak up millions of bullets. They like bounce out and then ads come in, like the smaller enemies. Rather in this game though, you're always fighting ads and there's always the boss that's bullet sponging and doing nothing. I mean, at least in other games they're trying to do something, and even stuff in like World of Warcraft will have more and more freaking phases that they'll do. They'll like send an enemy or send like two of you out, and you have to survive against a mini boss or something like that. I mean, there's just no variety in the strike missions, and that's sad when something that's mediocre in this game is actually a high point.
Yeah, like if they wanted to make it better, I would just say go back to what you originally had, and if not, like improve some things on like stuff outside the actual just running around shooting. Do something with the starships, because you have the ability to customize them. You could have used the starships for an interesting space battle or something instead of just leaving them as a loading screen. Or heck, even make mirror missions with the speeder bike things from. I'm reminded of like the Star Wars speeder bikes. Because
they use like the exact same sound.
Yeah, they use the same sound effect too, but yeah, like have something with them. Equip them with a little minigun that you can upgrade, so that way you can have a little speeder bike mission. You can battle other enemies on speeder bikes.
Well, there's pikes in the game that the Fallen use, but I mean, I do wish the Sparrows could get guns. That would have been way better.
Yeah, I mean, also in multiplayer too, instead of just making it just a run around, shoot people, Call of Duty, Halo style kind of multiplayer, have racing or something, or even starship battles. Because I mean, we haven't seen any good flight sims in a while.
Yeah, I think that having your spaceship as something like that would have been pretty cool. Instead, we have a sword mission that everybody says is the best mission in this game, probably just because you're doing something different. But at least the gunplay in this game is pretty good. Yeah. It's one of the few really good things in this game is the gunplay, which it's not super smooth, but it's pretty solid overall. And the music is pretty good. It's not nearly as good as Halo, but Marty O'Donnell still definitely gave his best effort, and for that he was rewarded with being fired for no reason.
Yeah, but and also another thing I'd like to put out, the servers. At least on day one, they didn't have too much trouble with the servers, unlike a lot of other games where the servers completely crash and pretty much no one's able to get online, or you have people getting disconnected. Now, there are people who said they've gotten disconnected from the servers, but...
Yeah, Nathan got DC'd a ton. He was getting pissed.
Yeah, like, I mean, when I got this game, for the first 3 days, I couldn't even get into a lobby, but I mean, after that, I was perfectly fine. And I just think that was the thing about the beta, was that I feel like they didn't change anything from the beta. I just felt like the beta was basically the finished game, only they were just testing the servers, and that was really it.
Yeah, they were. That's pretty much how I feel about it too. But that's this is this is Destiny. That it's just pretty much there. I think I can sufficiently call this game probably the biggest disappointment for a video game I personally have ever had. I mean, I've been disappointed with Call of Duty Ghosts. I was disappointed with Black Ops 2. This reached a new low because I fully believe that Bungie would be able to make another solid game and even freaking actually make a good loot based game. But as we definitely know with that, I think that's a horse that's pretty much been beaten and probably below 6 feet under, probably about 50 feet under by now is the loot. But that's Destiny, and thanks for watching.